This week, the Fiends watched
The Black Phone.
Would you like to see a magic trick?
Yeah.
The creepiest damn thing.
starring Ethan Hawke.
The Hawk of Ethans.
Written by C. Robert Cargill and his writing partner, Scott Derrickson.
That is correct.
And I think he directed Doctor Strange, the first one.
Yes.
Wrote and directed it with his partner.
C. Robert Cargill. Or
Yes, exactly. So, Sinister guys.
Sinister.
The Sinister guys. C. Robert Cargill wrote Sinister and not really another horror movie since then. So I was very curious to see what's he going to do now.
What's the result?
And we just saw it. We don't know what each other thought.
I don't want to know what he wants. I don't know what he wants to think.
But I forced him to. So we ask each other. And now I'm
Mikey.
just waiting for him to ask me. Okay.
Well, it's because I realized I said I want to know what you want to think. And
Okay.
It's driving me nuts.
Okay.
So, Mikey, what did you think of The Black Phone? Spoiler free, by the way.
Yes, we will have spoilers at the end. In short, I absolutely loved The Black Phone. I was thoroughly entertained. I thought it was well crafted, well done, well executed. Not perfect, obviously, but for what they were doing, I felt like it was fantastic. So that's what I'm going to say. What the fuck did you think of this great movie?
Well, it might be great to you, right? Because that's what you just called it. Excuse me. I will say that I thoroughly, to my bones, Mikey, enjoyed the fuck out of this movie.
Oh, okay, good.
So it does hit.
Good.
It hit what I wanted it to hit when I walked in the theater. Right, I'm going, well, what's gonna happen here? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dude, it's fucking 11:30 on a fucking Sunday. I go, what's gonna happen here? And it delivered. Yeah, I do agree though. Not perfect. There's things that I could definitely pick at, and I'm sure you can too. But I think the tone and just the style is just unique, and it was good to see Scott Derrickson do a new film. So I enjoyed it. Let's get into it.
Okay. Yeah, cool, man. No one cares about what time you saw the movie yet, but we're going to continue on.
What time did you see it?
Let's start with the child actors because this movie is based a lot on kids and the point of view from children. And I love that. If you're telling a little horror story, right? A story involving children, you got to have it from their point of view. So what does that require, Michael?
To show it from the point of view of the children, you need some really good child actors.
Exactly. And I think whoever the casting director on this was did a phenomenal job. Grabbed a bunch of unknown kids, like the grabber in this, and perfect casting for the kids because I loved every one of them, whether you're supposed to hate them or you're supposed to like them. The kids did a great job acting.
Couldn't agree more. I mean, literally from anyone from the main characters to the kids who get killed to side characters that are bullies and stuff. You're just like, oh, dude, genuine. Like, it felt genuine from start to finish.
It did. And my next thing was that, like, it felt authentic. It felt like it was in the 70s. So
78.
obviously the clothes, the attire, the clothes, the language, the attire, the bikes, just everything felt like it was in the 70s. Even down to the way the kids spoke where it's rated R. So they're swearing. They're saying, fuck you, cocksucker. And I'm like, that's how kids talk from the 70s and on. So I love that it wasn't this PG-13 bullshit because this is not a gory movie. It doesn't have to be rated R. But there are scenes, which we'll get to, that were fucking heavy, that are not in movies anymore. And that's why I think it's a throwback script. It felt like this movie was made in the 70s because it has scenes that hit me where I'm like, you would never see this ever in 90% of mainstream movies. So I love that aspect.
I agree, and I'm so glad that it's the 70s. I'm so sick of how much we're seeing for the 80s lately. It's like, we get it, Stranger Things, every other fucking little small Summer of 84. Like, we've seen a bunch of the 80s. Let's get back to the 70s, right? And it did feel different. Like, I didn't want to walk into it or even walk out of it going, that felt generic, like a generic throwback to an era that we've seen too much recently.
Yeah.
And this is definitely cut from a different cloth.
It's cut from cloths that are different.
Totally different, dude. 78, and obviously one of the best horror films ever came out in 1978.
The story is about there's a child abductor in this neighborhood and took a couple kids, you know, in the recent years, and we follow a pair of siblings, a brother and a sister. The boy's name's Finn.
Yes.
And I don't know what the girl's name was. I don't remember.
Gwen.
And we're following them. They have a rough home life, and it turns out Finn becomes one of the captured kids. And he's stuck in a room, and there's a black phone on the wall. You don't really need to know much else. That's kind of the plot of the movie. And is he going to escape? What's going on here? That's the basic, you know, spoiler-free version of what's going on. So I like that because I've never seen anything like that before.
Sure, I mean, you get in the trailer what's going on with the phone. So I
No,
don't think
for sure.
we're dancing, you know, we're not dancing too hard on spoilers right now.
No,
You
I
what
know,
I'm
but there's theories about what could have been going on with the phone. Is it like, I'm just saying, you know, let's,
Okay.
you know, it's like, it's what our, I don't want to get into a whole fucking
Sure.
theory talk of the ghost and what's going on here.
Just know that the phone rings and that he can pick it up. I just
Exactly.
want to say that.
Okay, cool. You got it off your fucking chest,
I had to
man.
say it, dude. It's
That
in the
was
trailer
great.
and I just want to get it out there.
So there's a scene earlier on in the movie that I was like, oh, we're in for a fucking ride here. Obviously, they set the tone. I love it. They set up the fucking characters, man. It didn't jump right into like this gory or terrifying or action or suspense scene. It showed the good. It showed like the first scene's a baseball game, and then the kids are at school and they're walking home and da 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 da. It set the tone for the rest of the movie because I was like, okay, I know Finn. I know his sister. I know Robin, the kid who sticks up for Finn after he gets bullied. This is all within the first like 20, 30 minutes. And their home life, their dad is just a drunk, alcoholic asshole. And there's this scene that when I saw this scene in the first 20 minutes, I said, okay, we're in for a fucking ride and a throwback of a movie. And this script was written not in 2022. Like, this felt like it was so old school.
Can I guess the scene?
Well, can I just say it?
Okay,
no.
No, go ahead.
You ruined the whole suspense building.
No, you were building it pretty good, actually. You deserve it. Go ahead.
So the scene, they just flash cut, dude, to the little girl screaming in pain, and the dad is just beating the shit out of her with his belt, and they just show it. It's not like it's like 2 hits, quick cut, see you later. It is a long time that you're watching this little 10, 11-year-old girl just get beat by her fucking dickhead alcoholic dad because the cops went to her because she has dreams that, you know, kind of showing some symbols of the missing kids. Where are they? We don't know. Her mom had some psychic powers maybe, but that's why he's beating her. But that scene, dude, I was in the movie theater. I had a reaction to it. I was like, I have not seen this in a movie. Thank you for having the balls to show what really happens in life, because it does, and it sucks. But it was good to see on a screen.
No, that elevated the film for me also, right? Because you think of other recent movies where there's implied abuse in the home.
Yes.
And it's usually kid shows up, black eye.
Sure.
Maybe you get some screams and they show the outside of the house and you see some things going inside of the house, right? This is like, oh, no. The son is there. Mm-hmm. He feels defenseless.
Yes.
He can't do anything to help this situation because he'll get it next.
Oh, yeah.
So you feel for him, but you feel for that daughter. And dude, he makes her repeat the same phrase over and over again. I can't remember exactly what it was.
Yeah, my dreams aren't real or something
like
yeah.
that. And the way she delivers each one, dude, it's different from the previous, but the third one, it gets you. I just got goosebumps thinking about her saying it. Like, she is fantastic.
Such a good actress, man. And the little boy too was great. It was
He
like
was great.
Casted perfectly. Literally casted perfectly. That beating scene just got me, dude.
And just for the record, I was going to guess that scene, so I just want to say.
And I know that. But I know you were trying to like one up me because you were like, all right, how am I going to let the audience know that I know what scene he's talking about?
I could have been wrong.
Because in your head you're going, I know it. What can I do?
But I could have been wrong.
I get it though.
Yeah,
but I do the same thing.
I get
it's
it.
Fine.
Yeah,
It's fine, man.
I guess it though. You know what I'm saying? Fantastic scene.
Yeah, set the tone, man.
Yes.
Set the tone. And then the little kid gets kidnapped, and, you know, then we learn who the grabber is, you know?
You learn some things about Mr. Grabber, right? You don't learn everything, and I actually liked that. I liked that I forget what the actual runtime where Ethan Hawke is actually on screen, but I'm glad it was the focus on the kids. Like everything, like Finney's obviously our main character, but you're still seeing a lot going on at the outside with Gwen, the daughter, sister, and I liked that. I liked that it wasn't the Ethan Hawke fucking acting performance. Like it wasn't chewing scenery or anything. It was just like, oh, you got him in glimpses, and he was great just for what he had to do on screen.
He was fantastic.
Yeah.
He was really good as the grabber. But don't get us wrong here. You do get to see him in action, being an evil, vile person for sure. We'll get to that when we get to spoilers about what I think about that. But the costuming was fantastic because the masks in this movie were like, you got to remember, like, these are just thought up of. So it's like, all right, we have this fucking serial kidnapping and killing kid grabber guy. We want him. He's just a dude, though. He's just a guy. What do we do to make him scary, right? And also show character. Oh, let's make a crazy, scary mask, right? And let's not only make a crazy, scary mask, let's make it to where pieces come off and there's different pieces to show whatever mood he is in. And I thought that was fantastic. And he slowly reveals his face throughout the movie. All that doesn't have to be done. And I appreciate that they did that. You're like, oh, shit, okay, now it has a frown. You're like, fuck. And it's subtly, because it's not like you're registering that at first. You just see him in the mask, but subtly, you slowly, oh, wait, no, there's a frown. That's why I feel intimidated right now. That's why I feel like the suspense is building right now.
Yeah, it was perfect, right? Because I didn't expect it. I mean, from the trailer, you see in the poster, you see a mask. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's the mask they're running with. Oh, no, wait a second. This thing has compartments?
Yep.
This is great. The first time he came out and I saw like that extended chin with like no mouth, there was just something very off-putting about that, right? It's like from the Twilight Zone movie where the kid has no mouth or whatever. It's like that, but I was like, oh, dude, I didn't expect to feel like this just from looking at Ethan Hawke.
No.
For just based on what I saw in the trailer. Like it was really a nice, pleasant surprise with the mask.
For sure.
So the mask is a fucking 10 out of 10.
Yeah, no, yeah. I don't know if I've ever seen that. Like a changing and morphing physical mask throughout the movie. That was great, man. I fucking loved that. And then I did think the dream sequences, like we said, the little girls having dreams, right?
Yeah.
But I thought they were done awesome. Because what was the main difference with the dream sequences?
Because they looked like they were filmed like on old, I don't know, not even Betamax. What's even before that? Fucking.
You're talking about like Super 8, but it's
Super 8.
But it's basically they just put film grain all over it.
Yeah.
So it's just all grainy footage. The aspect ratio might be different, have rounded edges. I don't know. I don't remember. But it's you're like, okay, this is a dream. Very Sinister-like.
I was gonna say too,
exactly.
Dude.
It was a nice little touch to differentiate because dreams are hard to do in movies.
Come on.
So some of the creepy imagery from the trailer, I haven't really watched the trailer since it dropped, is probably from those dream sequences because there's a couple cool little just quick shots of Ethan Hawke or of certain things that are in the dream sequences that maybe they use in the trailer to kind of boost it up a little bit.
Yeah.
But I love the dream. I just love how they did it that way.
Yeah.
That's how you knew it was a dream. It felt like a dream. Flashes of things and they were great.
Well, that's a lot about the entire movie, but especially with the dreams, I feel like too, is that it's very unsettling, right? They're cutting to that and it's a different film style, like the Super 8, it's grainy, and you're just like, okay, we're about to find something else out, like, but something else is like bad around the corner, right? Like she's peeling away something that that's obviously going to help. We won't talk about spoilers. We
already know, though. We're not learning anything from the dream. See,
that's true. Okay,
we know.
That's true.
This is one of the movies where like we know more than certain characters.
That's true.
So like we know everything that Gwen doesn't know. So we're watching her dreams and she's figuring it out. We already know what happened to the Asian kid, the first one to get kidnapped, the baseball player. Like we already know.
Right.
So we're just seeing her learn about it. So if the audience already knows something, like it's boring if we need to see it again. But no, you do it in a way where it's her dreams filmed differently and it's a character you care about learning something new. That's how you do that aspect to a movie. I appreciated the fuck out of that.
You're right, because it's fresh, right? It's fresh, and it's not boring to see the dreams, because you're right, because usually we pick
already
apart
know.
dreams. Yeah,
we don't want to
yeah.
know what we already know as the audience. We don't.
Right.
We just want to fucking learn stuff.
Yeah.
But we know, and we're watching Gwen figure it out,
Right.
which is cool. Now let's get to him in the room, though, the kid in the room, because this is where the movie basically is.
Yeah. Takes a good half hour to like get there, which was fine
Perfect.
though. I loved all the build up and you're learning about all the characters. Like it was, I'm glad they didn't rush to the room.
You can't rush to the room because then you're just stuck in the fucking room.
Yeah.
Like it was perfect.
Yeah.
I thought they got, not soon, but like I thought it was perfect.
Yeah.
Amount of time when he got snatched. And
I
it's
agree.
just, he got, there's a scene, it might not be in the trailer or whatever, when Finn gets snatched,
It's in
dude,
there.
it is so, it felt like I haven't seen this in a, kids, you rarely see kids get killed in movies nowadays, right? I know, is a different example. You see him eating, whatever, and it cuts away. But like, this is real. This is kids getting abducted. When Finn got abducted, and it was so, the balloons are going everywhere, and he's grabbing, it felt real. Like, this is really how a kid can get kidnapped, and this is really what it feels like. That is hard to do. And the fact that they pulled no punches and said, no, we're going to literally show you, like, this is 70. This is not this bullshit soft way we do it now. This is old school. You're going to feel this kid getting fucking kidnapped. And I did when Finn got kidnapped.
I did too.
Yep.
It was so real. That's the best way I can just think about saying. I know you said it, but it's like, oh yeah, no. It's actually pretty simple, right?
Yeah.
It's not just, oh, here, come in my van. I got something to show you. You're like, okay, whatever. What is this? You know, but it's, oh, I'm going to distract you. And like, if anyone really is looking, they might be like, oh, wait a second. Did he actually? Nah.
Yeah.
He just took balloons out of his car. Like he got away with it.
It's the struggle, though.
It's the struggle.
Like, they could have shown other shit, but it's when he actually grabs him.
Yeah.
It's that part that felt so real to me that, like, the other times a kid would get kidnapped, I think there's two, it would just, you see the van pull up, cut to black.
Right.
So you're like, oh, they got kidnapped. But Finn, our main character, it's when he grabs him and the audio, and then he cuts him with his little rocket, but then he fucking, that's when it got me. And then just throwing the van door shut, and I'm like, oh, fuck, dude.
Totally.
Like, it put me right there. I felt like I was on the sidewalk watching it.
Right.
It was flawlessly done. Loved it.
We were the observers of a real incident. is
Of
what
a
it felt
real
like.
incident.
Yeah.
Yes. So now Finn's in the room.
Yeah, the room. So the actual room itself, right? I'm not gonna get into. We'll get into the the logistics of it towards the end when we talk about spoilers a little bit more,
Sure.
right? But look, it served its purpose, right? It's creepy. It's fucking soundproof, right? And there's the bed, and so I'm going, ooh, what's gonna happen here, right? Is this gonna turn into a?
We don't know. That's
don't
a good point. I don't want to interrupt you, but that's a great point.
Yeah.
We don't know Ethan Hawke's intentions. These boys are missing, right? So they're just missing. It's not like they're finding dead kids missing. So Ethan Hawke's very sweet to him when he first gets there on the bed. So that's a great point that we don't know the grabber's intentions.
We don't.
Sorry.
No, we just don't. And I'm like, oh wow, he's actually free to roam. So he's not shackled. It's not like, oh, you're tied up to this area. I'm like, huh. I wonder if this is going to play into what the grabber's going for, and it does, right? It obviously does.
Absolutely.
But how do you feel about the room? How do you feel about the look of it?
I
the
love
feel
the
of it?
production design
Yeah.
because it felt real. This movie just, they didn't throw, the little sprinkles, the little, what's the word I'm looking for? Come on, like the pizzazz. They didn't make it into anything other than what it would be. This movie, they're like, we're keeping it real. We're not gonna exaggerate anything. It's like, no, this is just a fucking dungy basement.
Right.
That's it. There's no like special creepy things. It's like, no, it's a fucking concrete tiled floor basement. That's all it is. And I like that because that's what everything felt real. And that's another thing that felt real was the quote unquote dungeon that Finn is kept in.
Right. Totally real. The movie is real from start to finish. It's what it feels like, from everything from the kids to the acting to the stealing to the...
Did you have a problem with the room? Is that why you were asking me?
Not at all.
You just
Loved
asked
it.
Okay.
I was just asking you.
Okay.
What about the phone, though? Can we talk about the phone, Mikey?
So what is it? There's a black phone on the wall.
Yeah.
And Ethan Hawke's like, doesn't work. It doesn't work. It hasn't for years. Right. And okay, it's unplugged. Yep, that's it. Yep.
Sure. But yet it rings, Mikey. And
So then the plot of the movie starts, basically.
yeah.
Yeah. It rings. And I guess we can get into spoilers now.
Yeah,
You want
I
to
think
just
we
start
should
talking
do it.
about?
I think we should do it, dude.
Yep, that's all I had for non-spoiler notes. So I recommend it.
Totally.
Can you put your hand out and say you recommend it?
I recommend it also.
All right, now we are officially getting into spoilers. So if you guys don't give a fuck, stick around. If you do give a fuck, go see the movie and come back around.
Please.
So the phone rings, Mikey.
So the phone rings, right? And Finney's getting to hear past victims, right? And it's kind of going in order in which they were taken. So, oh, you're the first victim, don't know his name. Anyway, he's getting phone calls from the kids who the grabber's victims, right?
The grabber's victims, exactly.
And he's getting these little hints into like what the grabber's doing or what they eventually did to him, what happened to them, right? So like they're just getting these little us as the audience, we're with Finney in this, and now we're getting these clues and these hints as to what's going on and what did they know about the grabber?
Yes, he's getting the calls, and we're assuming that they're the ghosts and the spirits of these dead kids, but they're vague. They don't remember who they are.
They don't know their name.
That's I just said they don't remember
Yeah.
who they are. They only know a finite amount of information. They don't know. So every call, I believe there's 5. Every call, there's another little piece of information that Finn learns, right? So it's like, oh, there's a cable along the thing. Tries to get up to the grate, the window. There's
Combination lock.
the combination lock. There's the thing, the freezer, where he has to break through the wall. The freezer. He learns these things throughout the movie by the experiences of the kids who were killed.
Right.
What did they try to do to escape? This is what they tried to do to escape.
Right.
And that's what he's learning.
So we're getting that along with him. So it's like, again, it's a mystery. It's like, well, then what are these kids gonna tell him? Like, how's this gonna pan out, right?
Yeah, like everything's failing, guys. He's taking everything the kids are saying to do. They're like, all right, the door's basically Ethan Hawke wants the kids to be naughty, right? He needs an excuse to beat and kill them. He wants them. He leaves the door unlocked on purpose. He's nice to them on purpose. So then when they try to escape, he can beat the shit out of them. It's some sick serial killer shit, right? Which I'm fine with. Serial killers are fucking nuts. Make that shit up. That's perfect. That's totally believable.
Right.
So for some reason, Finn is getting the information. The other kids didn't. Maybe it has to do with the powers that are inherited in the family. The mother had some, psychic abilities and shit, which we just hear about. The dad thought she was crazy. But that's the way I took it, right?
Absolutely.
That he just has some sort of connection.
Totally. I took it as like the previous kids weren't getting the info, or else maybe they would have survived. Right from the previous. But
well, they definitely weren't. But why? Yeah, why was he getting the info? Right.
I feel like the daughter, and I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way, is that the daughter's more of the seer. Right? She sees these visions. She can see that. Maybe his portion of it is just the hearing. He can hear voices of the past or something like that.
It was just the connection, right?
Yeah, 100%.
It was just that their family has some sort of connection to that.
Absolutely.
So it was cool. It kept it interesting because you're like, oh, what is the next piece of information that the dead kid is going to call with? The next kid who calls, what's he going to tell him? What else is in the wall? What other ways are there to escape? What little things have these 5 kids done to try to escape? Because it's like tragic. These kids were thrown in this basement and everyone's trying to escape. And like you said, they're not shackled. So they're like trying to do shit to see how the fuck can I get out of here?
Right.
And Finn is learning slowly, basically how to escape unknowingly. And that's where I think the movie hits home the hardest, are the setups and the payoffs, which we've talked about before in X, which I thought had none. I love setups and payoffs, and this is the entire ending is a fucking series of setups and payoffs, and I was so satisfied.
Yeah, it's the team up, right? It's like the kid teaming up with the ghosts and the friends, because one of them was a friend of his, but it's like the kids team up to take over this fucking guy. And like going back to as far as like Goonies and Monster Squad, it's just like, that's what I want in film, dude. I want to be able to leave there and be like, you know what? that could have been me when I was 11.
There
like
you
I
go.
had friends that like that felt legit. I obviously, hearing voices and stuff, but you kind of you go with it because that's the movie. The girl can see visions and he can hear people, so it's all part of it.
Sure.
But it felt real.
Yeah.
You're going, oh my God, this could have happened in the 70s somewhere. Like that's what it felt like.
Absolutely. Like, the supernatural part of it, for sure, totally different. But
Sure.
everything else felt real, and the kids helping kids, and it's like all from a child's point of view. That's why it's great. And what I thought a good decision that they made, which I was thinking of in the movie theater. I don't know why I didn't write it down.
Mm-hmm.
Finn he never breaks down. He never breaks down throughout the movie. I'm watching, I'm going, dude, like, how's this kid not just crawling up in a ball and fucking crying? And then after the last attempt, the last phone call that he gets, not the last one, but the second to last one that he gets,
Sure.
doesn't work, can't open the freezer, and he breaks down and cries.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, that's why that scene hit so hard, because we had not seen him cry before.
You're waiting for it.
He'd been beaten by bullies, his dad's been a fucking asshole, but we have never seen him break down. Even when you're locked in a fucking dungeon,
Right.
I'd be fucking peeing my pants right the first day I'm there.
As soon as I open my eyes.
Yeah, I'm
Oh
just
my
like,
God.
oh no, fuck this. But Finn just didn't.
Yeah.
That's why that scene where he finally breaks down in the corner and he's crying, I felt for him so much.
Yeah.
So it's a smart move to have him, because I wasn't noticing it. As the movie was
right.
going on, I wasn't sitting there going, why isn't Finn crying?
Right.
Why isn't Finn crying?
Yeah.
Were you?
No.
Right?
I was like...
You just don't even think about
Don't
it.
even think about it, because the movie does such a clever job of just, I think, making you not think about it.
Yes,
There's so
make-
many other things that are going on.
Logistical. It's
Yeah.
like, you're like, oh, Finn's just being logistical. Like,
Yeah.
how do I get out of here? That's why they did it, because when he breaks down, I felt so bad for him, man.
Right.
Like, I felt so bad for him.
And a lot of it, I think, is that he doesn't feel alone.
Yeah.
If he didn't have that black phone, maybe it's a different story. Maybe night one he's crying like a little bitch, but he's
Yeah.
like, wait a second, whoa, what's going on here? Like, I'm getting some type of, okay, all right.
There's
like,
a little bit of hope, a sliver of hope.
I feel like to him, until he broke down, always thought, I'm getting out tonight.
So can we get to the ending and how everything set up and paid off?
Absolutely.
Okay, because I was so happy with this. Like we said, Finn's being told these things in every separate phone call. Oh, cable in the wall, right? So I haven't written down. So there's a cable in the wall, throws it up there to try to climb up and maybe get out of the window. There's a grate, pulls the grate down with that cable. He's like, "Fuck, man, god damn it, shit." Okay, then he's told first about under a tile. That one kid started digging, but the grabber found out and killed him. So Finn lifts up a tile, starts digging a fucking hole, right? To try to, I can get through to the other side.
Sure.
So those are two. Then he's told, behind one of the fucking wall, because the kid that they introduce, who was a badass motherfucker, who beat the shit out of a kid in a flashback scene, older, like 17-year-old kid. I'm like, whoa, the grabber got him. Like, what the fuck? He said he ripped that place apart. He just went nuts in the basement and shit. And he said there's this fucking freezer that backs up against one of the walls. So Finn takes a topsy off a toilet and starts to break at that wall to unscrew the back of the freezer and try to get through out of the freezer on the other side, right? So that's another one. So he's made a hole in the thing, and the freezer open. He finds a bunch of meat laying around on the thing, but he can't get out of the freezer. That's when he has his fucking breakdown. And the other one is the kid calls, says, "Hey, there's a combination on the fucking door. It's my old bike lock. I don't know the name, the numbers, but I wrote them on the wall." Figures him out. And how does Finn fucking kill Ethan Hawke, Mikey?
All those things you mentioned, except for the lock.
No. But that has to. No, I'm saying.
Yeah,
the
okay,
escape.
the
How does he
escape.
make his escape? Yeah.
They all come
They
together.
all come together
in a beautiful
in a
fucking fashion.
beautiful
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
It was set up so. Oh my God, Finn was literally unknowingly setting up his escape through thinking his failures were failures.
Yeah.
His failures were actually the thing that frees him.
Yeah.
That's such a dope metaphor and such an awesome metaphor for life of like not giving up. He thought, God, I failed every time. The combination didn't work. The cable didn't work. The dirt didn't work. The freezer didn't work. Dude, none of it worked. And every single one of those things comes into play when he makes his escape. And it was fucking beautiful. Ethan Hawke falls in the fucking hole.
That's what the hole's
right?
for.
That's why the hole was there, but he put the grate down there. That
What does
came
that do to his
off.
foot?
Why was the grate there? Because when he threw the cable up, it fucking ripped down, right? Put the grate down on the hole that he fucking dug. He learns to pack the fucking black foam with dirt from his friend Robin, who was the most recent one, who taught him how to fight. And he's sitting there trying to, say, hey, back, swing, teaching him to fight. Robin taught him to fight. Boom, doesn't work. Ethan Hawke chases him, uses the cable, fucking trips Ethan Hawke, falls into the hole, breaks his ankle, takes top of the toilet lid, beats the fuck out of him, and then gets behind him by using the fucking cable and strangles the shit out of Ethan Hawke. And what does he do, Mikey? Wow, that's happening. Wow, he's fucking strangling.
What does he do? I can't think.
What?
What does he do?
What?
Breaks his neck? Kills him? What are you talking about?
Oh, dude, he takes the phone and puts it up to Ethan Hawke's ear and lets all the kids basically talk their shit to Ethan Hawke, right? Like say what they like, basically giving him the shit that he had given them. It was just a beautiful revenge sequence. It was so perfectly done. And then Ethan Hawke had come down with his big fucking barking dog that's chained to the side. Oh, wait. There was meat in the freezer. Grabs the piece of meat, throws it away. The dog goes after it. He walks right up the stairs, goes to the lock combination, remembers the lock combination, boom, opens the door, and he's fucking free. Beautiful writing. C. Robert Cargill and Scott Derrickson, beautiful writing. It's all for a purpose. I know I went on a rant, but God damn it, that was all for a purpose, and it was beautiful to me. Absolutely beautiful and heartwarming and gut-wrenching and emotional as fuck, and I loved it.
Yeah, it really did its job, and I didn't expect it. I don't think anyone did. No one expected how to see all those things come together for the climax, and it just felt like a thing that could happen, like you said, to anyone in life, but like, oh yeah, that could happen to a kid. Like, this could all happen.
Oh, yeah.
Like, all of that is plausible. It's not like it was crazy in some crazy way he got out. No, all the things he tried ultimately failed, but they all came together, so he ultimately won. It was just like, I wanted to stand up and cheer, but then I'd be that guy. But it was like that moment, though, so I totally agree.
When he fucking, like, snaps his neck or how he kills him, I was like, oh, yes! Like, I made a visceral reaction to that because I felt it that much in the theater. There's only a couple people in the theater, but that's how much I was into this fucking movie. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was a win for the audience. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it was like, oh, fuck yeah, dude.
It was satisfying.
Yeah.
It was super satisfying.
So I'm like, are they gonna kill Finn and like have the daughter do something and like get revenge? I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I didn't know where it was gonna go. I don't know.
No one knew where it was going to go. Yeah.
It was
not predictable. This movie,
No.
I didn't feel like was predictable. You're like, wait, so is he going to, like, what's Ethan Hawke going to do?
Right.
How are they going to catch him? And then, all right, let's introduce the character of the grabber's brother.
The grabber brother.
The brother of the grabber. So the cops are canvassing the neighborhood and they knock on the door. And who is it? It's the guy from It Chapter 2, Sinister. So he has connections to these guys. So I go, okay, he's playing a role in this somehow. So he's obsessed with catching the grabber. The scene felt a little weird to me. I was like, oh, this is out of nowhere. This guy's just being introduced. He has a fucking corkboard with the strings attached to it. So if the grabber has to be here, it's got to be there. He's doing all this shit. And I'm like, okay, this is going to come back into play later. But they waited 50 minutes to introduce him.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I knew he was going to come back later. Turns out, what is happening, Mikey? What's going on?
So Finney is directly below him. This Ethan Hawke's brother lives in that house, and the dungeon is
No, you're
down
wrong.
there.
It's flipped. You flipped it.
Did I?
You flipped it.
Did I for real?
You flipped it.
So the bodies are underneath him?
The bodies are underneath the house that the brother's living in.
Oh, because he says, I'll never go downstairs, open the door. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. He just walked. Basically, we think it's all the same house because Ethan Hawke has been throughout the movie going like, oh, something's going on upstairs, like da-da-da. Like, there's something else is upstairs, but we don't know what's going on. Turns out, the little girl she gets the address in her dreams. They go to it, search the house. No, wait, nothing's in there. The grabber owns both houses directly across the street from each other. Kills the kid in one of them, right? That the brother is not staying in. Buries them in the one that the brother is staying in. So that's why so many times in the movie, you see the grabber sitting in the kitchen with the mask on, waiting for Finn to come up. And I'm like, well, if he's waiting for Finn to come up, he's right in the kitchen. How did how is the brother not seeing him? They're going to say, oh, what, he was sleeping? Get the fuck out of here.
Right,
he beats
right.
kids while his brother's sleeping? I had no idea. So I was waiting for that answer. I was like, do not fuck this great script by like saying that, oh no, his work schedule is different. Like, don't give me that bullshit. The fact that oh my God, 2 different houses, Mikey. That was the only conclusion that I would have accepted.
Yeah, because the movie was wrapping up, and I'm like, whoa, we got to talk about this, right? Like, they have to mention it at some point. They don't mention it till the very, I don't know, is it right before Finn escapes, or is it right after?
It's during.
It's
what do you
during
mean?
it, right? Yeah. Okay.
When they mention what?
That it's 2 houses.
He walks out. They're searching the other house.
Yeah, oh, that's right. It's the news anchor after the fact saying that there's 2 houses. Never mind.
No. Yeah, the cops are searching the house across the street, and there's nothing there. Then they go down to the basement, and they see the dead bodies buried, the 5 dirt piles, right? And that's when they're like, wait, what the fuck? And it all edits together while Finn is making his escape and he's exiting the door, and the fucking little girl is waiting and she sees him across the street, and their slow motion run to like together was just beautiful and awesome, and I felt it.
So just to be clear, when she sees the vision, and she sees that front door, that's where the grabber's brother
I believe
is
that's
staying.
where the bodies are. Yeah.
Right, and not where Finn is.
Yeah.
Right.
Because he can bury the bodies there.
Of course.
We don't know how long the brother's been staying there for. See what I'm saying?
Oh, right.
But yeah, he buries the bodies in the house that his brother's staying in.
Right. So the brother, I'm trying to think back, maybe you remember, what did he say for where his brother was to the cops, right? Doesn't he say like, oh, I'm only here because my brother's da-da-da, like in passing, right?
No, he says he's staying at his brother's house, he says.
That's all he says. He didn't say anything about his brother, to your knowledge.
He says he's staying at his brother's house. What do you mean?
But didn't say where his brother is.
I don't think they asked where his brother was.
Okay. All right. I wasn't sure. I couldn't remember.
I have no idea. I don't remember either. No.
Okay.
I don't think they say. No. He just mentions, he goes,
This is my brother's
This is my brother's house. No, this isn't even my house. I'm just staying at my brother's house.
Gotcha.
I'm in between jobs, or I don't know what he says. But
Okay.
he's staying at his brother's house. That's it. Yeah.
Okay. So no, that was the
The cops walked down to the basement of the one that the girl saw, right? And that's where the bodies were. That's not where Finn was. Yeah. So that's the one
in the vision that she sees.
Yeah, but weren't there cork boards and stuff all over where the brother was staying?
Yeah.
So wait, was the brother staying in the one where the kid was being held captive?
Well, this is why I initially
That would not make sense. That would not make sense,
I know,
though.
but this is why I initially thought that, for whatever reason, is because I thought the kitchen, like I could have sworn they showed the brother in that kitchen once.
No.
Or very similar, or towards the end, and I'm just like, wait a second, this isn't the same house.
Well, no, they show the brother like walking, remember, and then going down the stairs.
Yeah,
that's
well,
the
he
only
goes to
time.
open the door.
Yeah,
To the basement.
But at this point, they want us to think that it's the same house.
100%.
That's my point.
Yeah.
But when the cops bust in the house, they're like, wait, there's nothing. I don't see any cork boards or anything. They never show the cork boards again.
Yeah.
We're just trying to figure out which house the brother stayed in. Was the brother in the house that Finn was captured in, or was the brother in the house that the bodies were buried in?
That's right, because he does come down and open the door to the basement.
And gets killed.
Right, and he could have very easily just went across the street.
That's what I thought. I thought he went across the street.
Yeah, but he doesn't say to the cops, like...
Well,
oh, maybe he doesn't
you never
know
see him again. What do you mean?
No, but like... No, but like... Does he know that his brother, the grabber, has 2 houses?
No, I would say not.
Okay.
Definitely not.
Right across the street from each other, so it's like...
Definitely not.
He doesn't see the van.
But then why would he go across the street? Yeah,
I know.
If he didn't know he had 2 houses, why would he go across the street? Or maybe he does know.
Yeah, and he doesn't.
Maybe he does know that. Maybe that he knows that.
Maybe
his brother
he does,
owns
and he's
both.
just saying, "Hey, I'm staying here.
This is my brother's house."
You didn't ask me shit about.
My brother doesn't know the other house. Yeah,
I'm here. This is where I'm at. Okay.
Because there's no way.
Yeah.
There is no way that Ethan Hawke can be doing what he's doing with his brother staying with him.
I know, dude.
That's the only part where I was like, of course it's the other house. Like it has to be the other house.
The brother would have been like, there's a lock on this door, like on the inside.
Exactly.
Yeah,
he would have been like, wait, why
is
he going down there? He's waiting in the kitchen with the masks on.
Yeah.
What if the brother just walks in? Like, what the fuck?
I'd be like, Brad, or whatever your name is, grabber guy. What the fuck?
What are you doing?
Yeah.
You know?
This is how I sleep in a mask.
Yeah.
Like, you're got to be the killer.
So I don't know. So that's the way that I took
yeah.
it because nothing else made sense to me.
No, it has to be
Nothing
that way.
else made sense to me.
Why-
Unless, guys, if we're missing something, let us know.
Please do.
Please let us know because,
Because why'd he go across the street? He must have established, oh my God, it must be my brother and it must be in the house across the street.
Yeah,
you know?
he
Like,
had
it
to
has
have
be,
known that his brother owns the house across the street.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it was fun to discuss and try to figure it out. Yeah,
And seriously, it makes me want to watch it again.
no, absolutely. I mean, but I also want to watch this movie again too, just to kind of notice more stuff about the phone calls and like what they're saying and like like Finn's arms. Finn's got a great arm, and that's when he snaps the neck. It's like all these setups and callbacks that are just so awesome. I love them. I fucking loved them.
And like, today's the day, motherfucker. Like,
Yep.
it's all the things that they kept saying. It came through, and that was their like tagline, but it applied.
But it applied to when Ethan Hawke was
Yeah.
dying, and it's like, oh man, it was a satisfying
So
death.
good.
It was a satisfying death, and Ethan Hawke wasn't some, Hannibal Lecter like inhuman, more than human. He was just a fucking sick, weird dude. That's all he was, because that's all serial killers are. They are not these superhuman people. They are not these. They're just weird, sick individuals.
He met his demise with an 11-year-old boy, and that's awesome, right? If you're a kid who can kill the killer and become victorious, come on. Now he's back at school, and he's the fucking shit,
He's the man, dude.
He's the man. You always
Finn is
wanted
the
to be
man.
the man because he is the man.
Because he is the man,
Yeah.
yeah. And good performances all around.
Absolutely.
The dad was great. He was really good. Like, I bought him as the alcoholic dad who just hated his kids, but then has redemption. Loved that part when he was begging for forgiveness, and they were just kind of like went to like kind of like near each other and let the dad. They're like, we're gonna forgive him, but we're not gonna fucking
Not right now.
We're not gonna suck you right now. Take it easy here.
You beat the shit out of me, and you've been a bad dad, dude.
And there were funny moments. I laughed at a lot of moments when the girl was like running, saying, "You cocksuckers!" Like, I laughed out loud.
And with the cops,
with the cops, like
Yeah.
Jesus when she was like talking to Jesus, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
She's like, Jesus, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I was dying. I'm like, this feels like a movie that I want to see. Rated R. Kids swear, like preteen kids, teen kids, they swear. All right.
They dropped a lot of words, Mikey.
That's just what happens, though, up to this day, but you just don't see it in movies, right? And that's why it was cool, too, because kids talk like kids.
Yeah.
That's why I love this movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
And great work on the feel of the 70s. So,
Dude, you got to give it to them. The cinematographer, the director,
everyone, production design, costume design, everything, casting. It just couldn't, for what they were trying to do, what they were trying to tell, I don't think they could have told it better.
Good
the
point.
story that they were telling. And this
agree.
was going to be released in January, so the studio... January.
Oh, I thought it said February, like 4th.
January, because I know January movie studios dump movies in January because they don't think that they're good. So I remember reading that and being like, oh shit, the studio was like, nah, we're just gonna, Blumhouse, they make a lot of fucking movies, like, we're just gonna dump this in January. But the trailer got such good reaction that they said, oh, we're pushing this to a summer release. I like that. I love that.
Now, not to combat you, okay, but I'm pretty sure it was because of good early test screenings was the reason why they pushed it back, not just the trailer.
Okay, well, ready, set, timeout. Okay, so we were both right. It was a January release, and...
It was previews on the screenings, dude.
Exactly. So, there you go. I'm just glad it was in the summer. So,
I agree.
All right, you want to rippity-rap it, do some scores
Let's
here?
do some fucking scores.
What is your score on the dope meter, 1 through 10, for the Black Phone?
I'm going to give it an 8.0.
8.0, okay.
Yes. What about you, man?
I'm going to give this movie an 8.8.
Oh.
8.8. Could be a 9. Next time I watch it, it might be 9. It might be better. I don't know.
Who knows?
So, yeah, that's it. And, guys, if there's a phone laying around, okay, maybe pick it up, maybe don't.
I was going to say 50-50 on that,
50-50 on that for sure. But if you see a black van with black balloons,
go to it.
run. That's it. Thanks for getting kidnapped by us one more time.
As always.
We're going to be back next time with something not about child abduction.
I hope not.
If it involves you, maybe not.
I was touched at Blockbuster when I was 7. I'm still repressing.